Josh, I want to understand what is Up My Influence. Who do you help? Now, the listener might know if that's them, but also it's like, that's going to help us to understand why you're doing this certain podcast and if they fit together or not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's all circular. So we work primarily with higher authority coaches, consultants, B2B service providers, and agency owners. And our goal is to help drive revenue, very, very plainly, because, when you do that kind of work, you are participating in account-based sales generally. If you offer higher ticket services, it's really difficult today. It's not impossible, but it's more difficult. Let's say if you're trying to attract a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month client, those are usually not the kind of people that buy $19 tripwires and sit through webinars and like all of that. That kind of activity generally appeals to earlier stage business owners. People are just kind of still trying to figure it out. So how do you market and sell to decision makers who have big budgets and ability, desire to pay, and like they're doing really good stuff? Well, traditional marketing, and I've done a lot of research and I've a lot of speaking on this topic. Consumers they know exactly what you're doing at all times. And so if you're just marketing and selling at them, we know what you're doing. So the way around that, and if you really want to do business with decision makers and you want to drive more revenue, you have to close more sales. And to close more sales today, you need to have more sales conversations. So if you're not happy with where your revenue is today, and again, you're a service provider, higher level service provider, or you sell a bigger ticket item, you just need to have more sales conversations. Now, to get more sales conversations today, you just simply need to be building more relationships, because a percentage of high-level friendships will become sales conversations. It's just natural. Like people, centers of influence, business professionals love to do business together, right? We will find ways to do business with one another. It's the way we operate, unless you sell at somebody. Then it's just weird and awkward. So don't do that. So the name of the game here in what we do with Up My Influence is we just simply need to get you networking with A-listers at a pace you've never been able to do. And so I'd say the best book on sales today, if you want to kind of do what I'm talking about, is The Go-Giver by Bob Berg. And we just happen to believe that the best way to evoke that generosity is by using platform. And we've got a lot of data to back this up. Now, getting to what does it have to do with podcasting? Podcasts, statistically, like the numbers are just like nothing even comes close in terms of thinking about using your podcast as the ultimate networking tool. Nothing comes even close. Nothing comes close in terms of like extending invitations and getting people to say yes. Nothing works in terms of like getting enthusiasm from PR professionals and podcast guest agencies. Like there is a huge world out there of these amazing top shelf guests, people that are doing really big stuff in business, and they are volunteering their time to serve audiences on podcasts. Now, the sad thing is there is this huge gap between quality interview-based podcasts and the number of guests that exist. That's why we have this huge industry of like these podcast guest agencies who do wonderful work, but people pay them big money to get seen on podcasts. So if you're willing to, go back to some old school Dale Carnegie, how to win friends and influence people, and stop making your platform all about you and your ego, and instead shining the spotlight on other people and recognizing other people. And by the way, I'd recommend doing the same thing on nearly all of your social media. Quit making it about you and make it about other people. What you're going to find is that you will not be able to outgive the market. So what I'm talking about is these A-listers will professionals reciprocate. Amateurs who are working in a scarcity mindset, you don't want to work with those folks. But professionals who are already successful or on their way to becoming very, very successful will always try to outgive you.